Welcome to This Explainer. If you've ever found yourself sitting in a totally crowded room, surrounded by people, yet feeling this overwhelming sense of distance, well, this was made exactly for you. Today, we're validating a very specific, highly analytical experience. You are not broken, and you are absolutely not inherently antisocial. We're going to unpack the hidden architecture of why your brain actually requires that feeling of distance. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever felt like you're just detached? Like you're vibrating on a totally different frequency than everyone else in the room? People around you are laughing, they're engaging in casual banter, and you're physically there, sure, but mentally, you're miles away. Now, most people quickly slap the label of loneliness onto that experience, but we're going to look much deeper into the structural brain mechanics behind why this actually happens to highly intelligent, analytical thinkers. Section 1. The alien at the party. An inside look at your internal experience. So picture this. You're at a party or a networking event, and you feel this strange, heavy distance. It's honestly exactly like watching a movie in a language only you understand. You can see the characters moving, you hear the sounds, but the fundamental meaning of the interactions feels completely disconnected from your own internal reality. But here's the secret. While the rest of the world might view this as a social deficit, psychology actually tells us a completely different story. We're dealing with something deeply structural here. Section 2. Defining intellectual solitude. Understanding your experience as a structural necessity. What you're experiencing officially has a name. It's termed intellectual solitude. This is defined as the psychological friction of a high-speed mind trying to navigate a low-speed world. It's literally friction. When you crave distance from a crowd, it's a structural necessity for your brain, not a social flaw. You're simply trying to manage the heat generated by your own high-speed cognitive engine operating in a really slow-moving environment. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly where that friction comes from. On one side, we have your high-speed mind. Your brain is aggressively seeking substance logic, and it's constantly pattern hunting. On the other side, we have the low-speed world, which is largely bonded by gossip, shallow small talk, and repetitive explanations. The clash between these two realities, that is precisely what creates that total exhaustion you feel after just 20 minutes of casual mingling. To really understand why you seek out a quiet room, we have to talk about metacognition. This is the mental process of thinking about your own thinking. Highly intelligent people actively seek silence because for them, it's a sanctuary. While others might fear silence because it forces them to face themselves, your brain uses that silence to organize the daily chaos. You don't need the external noise of the crowd because you're already incredibly busy inside your own head, performing this deep metacognitive work and generating insights. Which brings us to another really powerful concept, high self-integration. When your sense of self doesn't depend on constant external validation from a crowd, you've achieved high self-integration. The fact that you're entirely comfortable in silence and that you lack the desperate need for external noise to feel grounded is actually a massive sign of psychological strength. Section 3, the symptoms of the clumsy genius. Exploring social cognition. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the mechanics behind this social clumsiness. There are 5 key reasons your high intelligence kind of makes you seem awkward. First, you feel like an alien observing strange rituals. Second, your social cognition is so busy analyzing subtext that third, you completely forget to follow the surface-level scripts everyone else is using. Fourth, you're constantly seeing hidden motives, tone shifts, and micro-expressions. And fifth, all this constant over-analysis leads to massive emotional exhaustion. Basically, being highly intelligent doesn't make you better at parties. It just means your brain is doing 10 times the computational work of everyone else in the room. And that extreme computational work results in what psychologists call low social reward sensitivity. This is a brain state that simply isn't excited by shallow small talk or inauthentic social rituals. It's absolutely crucial to understand that this creates social distance not because you lack empathy. Actually, it's quite the opposite. You create distance because you fundamentally prioritize depth over mere connection. Your brain just doesn't get a dopamine hit from discussing the weather. Section 4. The cognitive speed mismatch. Navigating a fast brain in a slow world. The sources refer to this next concept as the prophet's burden. Because your brain is a natural pattern hunter, constantly running internal simulations, you bear the heavy burden of seeing hidden flaws long before anyone else does. You see the end of the conversation before the other person has even finished their first sentence, and you see the glaring flaw in a system while everyone else is still sitting around praising it. Let's walk through this timeline because it perfectly maps out something called predictive processing. At 1 second, you're enduring a slow, repetitive explanation and feeling literal physical impatience because your brain has already solved the problem. At 10 minutes, you're playing mental chess 10 moves ahead of the current discussion. And at 3 months, you're seeing a system flaw, or frankly, a disaster waiting to happen before anyone else even notices a problem. This predictive processing makes you feel like a complete outsider, for sure, but I want you to realize that it's the ultimate proof of your analytical depth. Section 5. Your silence is a power move. Handling the friction. So the crucial point is how you handle this friction. You have to eliminate your social validation dependency to reclaim your energy, and you do that in 3 simple steps. Step 1, subtract the need to be understood. Step 2, radically accept that most people won't and frankly don't have to grasp your depth. And step 3, stop over-explaining your choices. Remember this. Over-explaining is just a survival instinct to avoid rejection. When you let go of the need to justify your intricate logic to the crowd, your silence transforms. It goes from being a lonely void into an absolute sanctuary. It becomes a power move. You no longer waste your high-speed cognitive energy trying to translate your thoughts for a low-speed room. I really want you to take this away from today's explainer. You are not too much, and you certainly aren't broken. You just think deeper than most. Your mind is a rare, layered gift. But like any high-performance engine, it requires strict boundaries to function properly without burning out. Your habits of observation and your profound comfort in your own presence are exactly what reveal your intelligence as a superpower. I'll leave you with this final, provocative thought to chew on. Do you crave silence just to hear your own logic again? Take a moment to reflect on your own cognitive friction. The next time you find yourself pulling away from the noise of a crowd, remember that it's not a retreat. It's your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do. Keep exploring those hidden patterns of your mind, and never, ever apologize for the depth of your intellect.